what we do, we have a standard non-disclosure, no surprises. We send that out and require that the product source sign our non-disclosure. We don't do that to kind of get around anything there, to kind of be shady about anything. Really, why we do that, as you can imagine, we see multiple, tons of product on a daily basis. If we had to review every NDA that came through the door, we might have to build another building just for a legal department.
Okay, but your NDA, I mean, realistically, you see many products. So what if an inventor signed one with you, and then you basically said, I just saw that umbrella variation just yesterday. What do you do at that point?
At that point, I mean, that's a good question. So once a product is shown to us and non-disclosure is signed, I mean, it really, we don't talk about it beyond the one-on-one conversation that I have with the inventor. If someone brings me something that's similar, it's honest, we just tell them no thank you. It's something that we've, through the years seen before and don't think it's a big enough problem. But as far as getting the information out, that valuable information, that does not leave the conversation between the both of us.
Okay.
Or the department, for that matter.
Okay, that's respectable. So,
yeah.
On the other side, you see a product, you like it, then what happens next, John? I think you mentioned it goes to your internal team. Everybody has a meeting, takes a look at the product, and they love it, they like it, they don't like it. I'm sure there's some kind of proxy vote there.
Oh, yes. We have a whole internal review process. Not giving out too many of our secrets. It's all committee-based. We have people from all walks of life, so you're different ages, from the age of, fresh out of college, middle, upper-aged, male, female, reviewing the products, for the main reason that we don't want to miss anything. Everyone comes from different backgrounds. We learn a lot from each person in that meeting. Maybe, for example, hot buns, I could have told you was a great, unique item. It's the create the sock bun for the women. It's out on the market now. I could have told you it was unique. I could have told you it had magic, but I could have never told you if it was a problem or not. And that's why we do it a committee, because women said, this is a problem. This is something that's going to solve this problem. So everything's committee-based. So it goes to that, we vote, and then if it's something we want to work with, we come back and we start working out the terms.
Okay.
A term sheet, just kind of a gentleman's agreement until the contract is signed. If it's not, we come back and say, hey, listen, thank you so much. We'd love to see more of your items, and we hope to work with you one day down the road, because it is a numbers game.
Okay. And
the more products in, better.
It's fine. And speaking of numbers, so what can an inventor expect to make, really, when you say, let's go for it? But before we talk about the cash that they make, what does it take for a product? I mean, you mentioned a little bit of the way that it's marketed once you have a commercial and it goes to retail. But once you say yes, next week, is the product out on the shelf and a commercial up on TV?
No. So let's say, I'm not going to say it's a long process, but it's, we try to beat the market, or at least be up on TV testing. We require 210 to 70-day testing period for a product. And it seems like it's a lot, but it's in order to do our background work on a product, so you're doing legal patent research, you're trademarking a name, you're doing the creative behind it, you're talking, and then you're testing it and buying media, you're talking about a pretty extended time, pretty long time to make sure we're doing it the right way. So you're talking almost, before you see it in retail, if everything were to work, easily a year and a half, depending on the season, depending when we want to roll it out.
Wow.
But it's not you can't expect to sign something with us and see a commercial the next week. If we did that, we honestly probably be irresponsible on our part.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because, it's very important people's expectations are met. And as long as that's disclosed to us, especially telling us this kind of information on the show, obviously it helps everybody, because I think that, people expect things a lot quicker. And it sounds to me like between the production. First, it's the development of the way the product is going to be designed and function, and it might be a little different than what the inventor presents. And then I'm sure you have the naming, judging, and then there's all the setup of what the commercial is going to be like. Probably before that, when is it that you start to approach the retailers, or do you get them involved in your decisions on what goes on TV?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Everything is internal. No one knows of any of our projects until we know that they're a rollout, until we know that they're successful. To kind of piggyback off of what you were saying before,
Sure.
It's not that we're not. That's a pretty quick turnaround time. It's a matter of finding a fine line between you want to get to market first, but at the same time you don't want to rush there. Just for the main fact, you want to give it every chance to succeed. So we rush the name, we rush the creative, we rush the sourcing, and don't get the price we need to be. These are all potential roadblocks for down the road, and also reasons why maybe it wouldn't work. So it's a matter of finding that balance between, okay, we need to get there fast, at the same time, though, we need to do a quality job.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. So now the time goes by. Is the inventor, whoever's product that is moving along your process, are they actively involved, or do you plan on speaking to them in a year and a half?
Again, for All-Star, that's one of the great advantages of working with All-Star. You have a personal touch. You have a contact in creative. You have a contact myself that you could reach out to, ask questions. When it gets to the creative point, we're not afraid to ask you, why did you create it? Hey, are we missing something on the web composition? Hey, are we missing something on the commercial? What do you guys think about this line? Should we add something? You're not forgotten. We don't disappear on you for 6 months and then come back and tell you no or yes on anything. We're very transparent, very open, and that's just something that you learn working with us. It's fun. It's a fun group of people to work with.
Okay. So now getting down to one of the main questions, a couple of listeners sent in the question of what can an inventor expect to make in many different words. But what does it really come down to, John? How does the formula work out for them?
So, without getting too much into it, because every product is different, every deal is different, I'll give you some ranges of, so everything's a royalty-based system. So you're compensated on sales, we break it down into, there's different types of sales, but you have a different percentage from wherever that product is sold, from what channel. So if it's a retail sale, you're going to have a royalty for the retail. If it's sold somewhere else, you can have a royalty for that. In a range, your retail royalty, you're looking anywhere from 2 to 5%, depending, and that's on the wholesale retail price.
Okay.
And then if it's sold, let's say, through a website or anything along those lines, it's going to be, let's say, 1 to 4%.
Okay, and the reason is because when you're selling it on the website or TV, it's direct to consumer, so the margin is there. So it's a higher price, so you're getting a little less on the royalty. And when it's wholesale to the retailers, it's obviously there's another layer that's there.
Well, the main reason behind it, and kind of going back to how it started off the show, was that most of the sales now, it's changed, let's say, from 10 years ago, are done in retail. So you're getting a higher royalty at retail because, well, that's where the majority of the sales are. So we believe strongly that, you should have a bigger cut of the pie, so to speak, at that point. Most of them are sold at retail. So you get the higher retail royalty there.
Okay.
Yep.
A lot of inventors might be listening and saying, wow, 1 to 4% here. It doesn't really sound like much. Is it over 1,000 units, 10,000 units, 100,000? Maybe you can put that number into perspective for a successful product.
I could tell you, as far as campaigns concerned, the units, there's different size DRTV companies. All-Star being one of the larger, if not the largest, up in the top bracket there. One of our campaigns, we're like I said, disappointed, but we're looking to sell millions of units, not 50,000, not 10,000, millions of them. So you can imagine on those, without getting into too many details as far as numbers, those percentages become a very large amount. And also the other reason, basically, kind of remember, working with a company like All-Star, you are not paying a dime. We never ask you for a cent. The value that you hold to us is your product, and all the financial risk and is taken on by All-Star. The time that you sign that over, the product over to us, and we reach that agreement, responsibility is ours. The manufacturing is our, responsibility is ours, and a lot of people don't understand is that when you work with a big retailer like your Walmarts, and I'm not sure about Walgreens, but Walmart in particular, if the product doesn't sell, they send that stuff back.
Okay.
So it's a lot of risk, but we do invest heavily. At the same time, we do also compensate heavily as well, just because there's a lot of units sold. Okay.
Vera's asking a question. She wants to know, how many products does it take for you to find a winner?
Okay.
I'm wondering. Actually, that's kind of
really
interesting. Yeah, because it can be two different ways. One, how many products do you see from inventors to find a winner? And on the other side, how many products do you actually launch that you find a winner from?
Oh boy.
Maybe even percentages.
Yeah, so as a merchandising team, we see a lot of products daily. We get a lot of phone calls, product submissions through website. We look at a lot. We do our own searches. We're looking at thousands a year. From that, I could just tell you that we roll out, if you look anywhere from 6 to 12 products a year, maybe even a little more, depending on the year.
Okay.
It's a product-based business.
So that's fine. That's fair. So out of 6 to 12 products, how many are winners, and how many are in the middle, and how many kind of fail?
I could honestly say that most of so if you were looking at, let's say the number 6, let's say 6 of them, 5 out of 6 are great. Maybe one's, still good, but it's just, it's not great. Most of the products, we do a lot of due diligence in the background. We make sure that the consumer wants it. So when we get to retail, very, very, very few times do we find that it's a complete bomb. We do a lot of diligence. Also, there's a lot of background work, a lot of legwork to make sure that we're making the right decision as far as pushing it to retail and getting it there. But yeah, most of them, honestly, Brian, they're very successful. There are many I can't even think of. I'm trying to think of one that really I can't even pin one down.
That's okay. You want to forget those.
We try to have a short memory on those anyway. Kind of zap those out of our mind.
Yep. Thank you, Vera, for that question. So it could be that through the process, you have an inventor that brought you the product and it's a successful product. You could end up selling millions of units. Does that instantly make an inventor a millionaire? And are the products that end up bombing, does the inventor end up getting anything from it? Maybe they were that 1 out of 6 that didn't do well?
Do you become a millionaire? I wouldn't go as far as a millionaire, but it's pretty sizable. It's a very nice checks. A lot of great compensation. You might be close, or you might be right there, but every single time it would be probably an unrealistic way to look at it. If it's me, even at those, if it goes to retail, the product source will be compensated, just because we will sell a lot of product there. We will sell a lot of product to the TV. It's just really a matter of getting the product to roll out, and there's the tests involved, and they're pretty expensive tests. So when we do get there, again, going back to the due diligence, we know that it's going to sell, and if that's the case, the product source is going to be compensated for it as well.
Okay. Vicky has a question from Wisconsin. She wants me to ask you, what's your feelings on an inventor taking their product to market by themselves rather than bringing it to a company like All-Star?
I mean, the number one benefit, or one of the benefits of working with a company like All-Star,